Hello, everyone, and welcome on a conference dedicated to the XTPL financial results for the first three quarters of 2025. My name is Mariusz Maćkowiak. I represent CC Group, an investor relations advisor to the company. Together with me, we have Management Board of XTPL, Mr. Filip Granek, Chief Executive Officer, and Mr. Jacek Olszański, Chief Financial Officer. The meeting will be divided, as always, into two parts, an investor presentation and a Q&A session. I encourage you to ask questions through the chat and wish you a successful meeting. Mr. Filip Granek, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Welcome, everyone. I'm Filip Granek.
Hello, I'm Jacek Olszański.
So it's our pleasure to review the Q3 results together. We will start with short executive summary. Jacek will dive deeper into financial results. I will give some more color and context to current business development activities, and together we'll comment on the outlook ahead of us. So XTPL developed a breakthrough technology for high precision printing of nanomaterials. Since this year, for the first time, we're having live industrial implementation of the technology, and at the same time, we're incubating 11 commercial projects focused at ultimate industrial implementation, and our goal is to aggressively grow the revenue up to 100 million Polish zlotys towards the year 2028. We're supported by the growth of the microelectronic semiconductor markets, which are requiring more complexity and thus enabling high precision technologies like ours to grow. The last quarter, the quarter three of this year, was a good quarter for XTPL. It was actually a record quarter in terms of the revenue generated, which was 5 million Polish zloty generated in Q3, and now over 10 million across the first 3 quarters of the year. We have delivered 10 systems, 10 DPS systems to the market, and already 7 modules, UPD modules to the market this year. We're continuing our industrial implementation with our high resolution displays project in China. We have new industrial projects getting to high momentum with partners in China, in Spain, and with United States. In terms of the Delta printing system highlights, we believe it's worth noticing our interesting new customers, University of Cambridge on one hand, and on the other hand, University of Massachusetts at Lowell, and especially the US university here is interesting because there is a laboratory fully financed by Raytheon, a defense contractor in US, that gives us exposure to the defense industry in US, which is quite interesting. I remind you that earlier this year, we also delivered a DPS system to a defense contractor in US, so we see this as an interesting growing opportunity for the next year.
Let's start the financial part of our presentation. Revenues. We have had our best third quarter ever with commercial sales of 5.1 million PLN, which gives us a cumulative total more than 10 million for the first 9 months. It is a result achieved despite internal problems of the US market related to the suspended grants and government shutdown, which blocked the purchasing decision of potential customers. But we are talking about the postponed rather than cancelled decision. Sales of DPS on the European market filled the gap left by the American market. In 9 months, we delivered 6 devices, including institutions as University of Cambridge and a new industrial partner in Spain. From the other hand, we had a positive signals from the US market related to the defense sector. As a result, we delivered DPS to a defense contractor in the US and to the university at Lowell, which is a direct research base of another major player in the defense market. During 9 months this year, we also delivered 7 UPD devices, 4 of which were the result of the first industrial implementation we are carrying out for a large display manufacturer in China. In terms of grant revenue, we didn't obtain any new grants, although we are active in this field. The revenue is related to the reclassification of grant settlements to assets from previous years. As for cost items and cash expenditures, we are reducing operating costs, optimizing our structure, which is reflected in lower costs. At the same time, we are maintaining the competencies we have built up during the period of intense investment process, showing our industrial partners that we are able to meet their needs in terms of technology, but also in terms of production quality and supply logistics. You may notice that this intense investment period is now behind us, with our CapEx expenditures significantly lower this year. We are also optimizing working capital by reducing inventory level. Our trade receivables increased up to 5 million PLN, but today most of this amount is already paid. So our cash at the end of third quarter is close to 10 million PLN. We are also in the final stage of the process of acquiring a partner for the outsourcing of the production of our DPS devices. We are testing a device that has been manufactured by our partner, and if the tests are positive, we will be able to start cooperation. Such cooperation gives us several positive effects at the same time. It increases our production capacity without any additional costs. It optimizes cash flow and shifts the stock to the partner, and it allows us to focus on technology development. You can see the graph of our cash flows. Our cash flow has not yet reached break even, despite our reducing cost program, but growing sales will increasingly balance it out.
Okay. I will now continue with commenting on the business development activities. And a short reminder, we already sell and deliver our products and services to over 20 countries, and our focus is Europe, North America, and selected Asian countries. That's where we believe this is the best market fit for our products. And our users, some of the academic users also increasingly use our technology for their own disruptive research and publish interesting papers. So that's what you see in the box, a growing number of publications using XTPL technology, which is our potential engine for the future growth, their interesting discoveries and their interesting voice of using XTPL technology for new products and new solutions. In terms of our product portfolio, we maintain committed to our strategic direction, so further developing our printing equipment, standalone printers and modules for industrial implementation, and the range of printing inks, which are important for our users to perform at the very high precision printing. Now, the biggest engine for our business growth is industrialization of our technology. And as you know, since earlier this year, we are undergoing the first ever industrial implementation of the technology. So being really live on the production floor of the real products that are being deployed to the end customers. And that's a big breakthrough for XTPL to reach this level. So this year, we're working on this first ever industrialization with partner in China, and the focus is on manufacturing of high resolution flat panel displays. Earlier this year, we received order for 6 UPD modules, so the heart of the printing system. And already now we delivered 5 of them accordingly to the requests and the delivery schedule that is communicated to us by our direct partner. By the end of the year, we expect to deliver all 6 of the pre-ordered systems and to enter into discussions about the next year needs of our customer, how many new systems will be needed. At the same time, we see that the first systems were already successfully integrated into bigger industrial machines, and they are now already installed in the production floor of our end Chinese customer, and our team was also visiting this fab and seeing the live demonstration of our product. So that gives us a lot of boost of credibility and technology validation moving forward. Our focus is not just on this one industrially successful project, which will grow over time, but also, as you know, we're growing our pipeline and developing our pipeline of industrial projects. And especially, we're proud to report that at the stage 4, so the pre-industrialization stage of our industrialization project, we have now additional 2 projects, one with a partner in Spain and one with partner in China. So in total, we have 5 pre-industrialization project and 1 already in the industrialization phase. So that's a big growth of our top of our funnel over the last months. In terms of the stage 4 projects, so the projects that are just that are now at the level where prototype industrial machine has been built or is being built with the implementation of our print engine. You can recognize here that we have projects in various geographies. So we have diversify our business development activities geographically: China, South Korea, USA, Taiwan, and Europe. And at the same time, they are diversified in terms of industrial verticals. It's flat panel displays, semiconductors, advanced packaging, and automotive and consumer electronics. And all of these projects have at least the same potential of the amount of systems that we can deliver as the potential of our first industrialization project in China. And most of these projects actually potentially can generate much larger revenue and much larger sales opportunity for the future, which means that we expect that with each additional industrialization, the impact on the revenue growth will start to be bigger and bigger. So the snowball effect will start rolling faster each time there is a new industrialization. In terms of our Delta printing system segment, so our systems for research and development customers, we already delivered over 40 systems to the customers this year. It's 9 system ordered and 10 system delivered. As mentioned before, we want to highlight that some of the key customers also investigate our solution, for example, for defense-related applications using the DPS product. So the DPS product can be also considered as a kind of pre-sale opportunity before we enter into industrialization phase. Some customers are interested in validating our technology by using this vehicle, the Delta printing system, for their applications. And Jacek mentioned already that our goal is also to outsource the manufacturing of the systems starting next year, and we're in the very advanced stages of finalizing collaboration agreement with a selected partner who will do the outsource manufacturing for us. We're also incubating a new business line, which is a code name Delta DPS Plus, Delta Printing System Plus, a standalone system for professional users for high mix, low volume manufacturing. And we expect to receive the first purchase orders for this system probably early next year. And we already have advanced discussions with pilot customers who are engaged with us in discussing about this product specification from the early days of the product incubation. And the good thing about, or the interesting thing about this product is that it is not conflicting with our Delta Printing System customer group. And it's also not conflicting with the large volume manufacturing projects for UPD modules. It responds to the niche of high mix, low volume manufacturing of high-end microelectronic products. Last week, we had a trade show presence at the Productronica/Semicon Europe trade show in Munich, in Germany. And that's where we also showcased the system for the first time, the prototype of the system, advanced prototype of the system. You can see it on the picture on the right-hand side. So the DPS Plus platform was showcased there for the first time, and it was met with high interest, and it was very encouraging to hear what the potential customers have to say about the system. So it validates the market need for such a high mix, low volume manufacturing device that we will deliver to our customers. And you will see on the list on the left-hand side that we maintain committed to be visible to our customers in different geographies. We want to be present on different trade shows and build awareness around our technology and attract new customers to engage with us and with our solutions. So moving to the final section, focus on the outlook and what's ahead of us. Here we want to remind you that recently we have announced a modification of our strategy, and the key change that we introduced and announced was the postponing of the timeline of delivering the 100 million Polish zloty revenue from the year 26 to the year 2028. We will need a little bit more time to reach this goal. This is because of our lessons learned from the first industrial projects, the dynamics and the speed of how this first industrial project is developing, and also the market feedback we're getting from our key partners, where they are clearly voicing that the market opportunity or the market need for our solution is not immediately there yet. There is some impact of the how fast the technology roadmaps of the end customers are moving forward, and when exactly the precision that we are bringing to the table will be immediately needed. So that's where we have a lower impact on the decision-making process. We're not controlling the large corporation dynamics of moving to the next generational nodes of their solutions. What we control and what we do, what we try to do the best we can is to facilitate the speed of the technology evaluation and the quality of the technology evaluation that we're working on with our customers. The mix of the contributions of different business lines to our strategic goal remains relatively the same as recently communicated. So the two biggest contributors is, on one hand, industrial projects where we are supplying a print engine, a print module to our equipment partners who are integrating it into their machines for the production floors of modern electronics. And on the other hand, we will also deliver standalone systems for R&D and high mix, low volume manufacturing to selected customers as well. The contribution of the returning and recurring revenue of selling more inks, more nozzles, more cartridges, and service and support to our customers is expected to be at the level of 10 to 20% in this time frame. Only after mid to longer time frame, after we deliver ultimately many more systems to the market, we expect the recurring revenue part of the mix to grow up to maybe 30% or so.
Due to the shift in our strategic goal, we identify a financing gap of 15-20 million Polish zloty for this period. We plan to cover it from several sources and are considering debt, grants, strategic investor, and capital increase. Most likely, it will be a mix of these solutions implemented at different times and values. Capital increase with potential strategic investor is the fastest way, and we accept that debt and grants processes give us the effects in the second half of 2026.
So in terms of outlook for each of the business line, how the development we expect to be over the next 3 years is to have a jump in UPD module sale after each of industrialization success. Each industrialization project will give a jump in how many modules we're selling per year. And for the DPS and DPS Plus systems, we see a more evolutionary rather than radical growth of the systems, and probably up to 20 systems each sold in the year 2028. And the steady growth of consumable materials, inks, nozzles, and related services will be contributing to the revenue growth as well. What is important also to highlight is that we maintain strong support from our long-term and long-term oriented investors, financial investors that were supporting the company over the last years. So we're really happy to have a stable shareholder structure there, and their commitment as at least voiced to us for the long-term growth and the long-term vision of developing and unlocking XTPL technology potential for the mass markets. So in summary, we're really happy to report a very good Q3 results with a very good sales results and a good outlook for our next quarter's revenue growth. We expect Q4 also to be a good quarter for XTPL, and we are well positioned to enter the year 26 with the right product mix, with the right diversification geographically and over the different industry verticals. So we're well positioned for the future growth. Thank you so much for your attention so far, and we maintain open to your questions.
Thank you for the presentation, and as Philip said, we can start the Q&A session. The first question is how the USA disruptors like government shutdown affects the sales of your products, and how the situation looks like today. Is it going back to normal?
Yeah, so definitely we would have to say that this year, the year 25, was a more challenging year for us in the US market than we expected initially. The tariffs was a challenge, but to be honest, the biggest challenge was the internal freezing of some of the government spendings internally in USA, where some of our potential customers were awaiting for a grant finance to buy one of our tools. And because of the grant freezing or the money freezing, they were not able to move forward with the purchase. So that was slowing us down with some of the academic customers. We're not losing these opportunities, we're not losing these deals, but there will be some postponement, like Jacek said, in when exactly we will be able to receive their order and then supply the system to these customers. The government shutdown was another level of disruption in terms of our collaborations with some of the defense contractor industry, where there's actually an impact that we were not expecting on their decision-making process or the speed of their decision-making process, and some not obvious, let's say, relations to how the government shutdown and slowdown of some procedures can impact collaboration with us. And again, we're not identifying a risk that any of the US development will cause us lose opportunities to sell, but it will slow them down. And my expectation is that as we know, the government lockdown is behind of us, so there will be some backlog of work that needs to be done that was stopped over the time of the lockdown, but then there will be back to normal, and the new normal is the normal that we've learned over the year. So we're ready for that. I think the customers are ready for that, and our outlook for the next year for the US market is more positive than it was for this year. And what we also expect from the US market is that it will also contribute to our rollout of the DPS Plus platform. So the new platform, the most advanced discussions with the pilot customers that we have now are also with the customers in US. And we also expect the US market to be a strong contributor to the first growth of the DPS Plus sale in the year 26.
Thank you. The next question, your UPD models are now live on the Chinese customers' shop floor. How do consumables sales perform relative to your expectations? Do the models meet the contracted utilization, yield, or downtime?
Yeah, so the first, we already delivered the batch of 5 systems to our partner in China. It doesn't mean that all of them are already implemented into larger machines, and these larger machines are already implemented into the factory floor. So there is always some delay between we deliver the system and the machine is fully operational on the production floor. But the first systems that are already operational on the production floor are generating revenue for us in terms of ordering more ink, ordering more nozzles. So this is, I would say, in line with our expectations. But the amount of the system is still relatively low, so it's not possible to say that this revenue is already significant for us. I mean, the recurring revenue. It will only become relevant after the installation base will grow significantly. But so far, the usage of the systems is accordingly to our expectations. Yes.
And did you start the conversation about potential demand for next UPD models with your existing partner in China?
Yes, the initial discussions are already ongoing. The goal now is to close the first batch of order, which was 6 systems. We already delivered 5, and now we're discussing what is the right time to deliver the module number 6. We expect this to be still this calendar year. And only after that, the final decisions about the number of systems needed for the next year by this customer can be closed. But the initial discussions are ongoing, and we expect for this particular project, the number to be roughly in the order of 10 systems for the next year.
Thank you. Next question. What area is the most attractive for your technology? Flat panel displays or semiconductors, or perhaps some other application fields?
So I think the most attractive means depends how you measure it. So in terms of time to market, which market is the fastest for us to be able to grow inside, is actually flat panel display, because we already went through qualification for the first use case with our partner in China, and that creates a good word of mouth inside of the industry, and it creates new opportunities for us. So in that respect, in terms of which market is the fastest for us to generate early growth, then I would say flat panel displays. But which market would mid to long term generate the biggest revenue opportunity is definitely around semiconductor applications, because the industry of semiconductor is bigger than the industry of flat panel display. The value add and the high-end applications there are much more advanced and much more complex, so we can bring more value to this type of solutions, so more complex solutions to a much larger and much faster growing market. So definitely in terms of measuring the size of the opportunity long term, semiconductors will be bigger, but we will need more patience, and the qualification path is more complicated, more challenging, takes more time to get into the value chain of the production of semiconductors than in the case of flat panel displays. Outside of these two, we're exploring applications around, like I mentioned, defense-related applications, around telecommunication-related applications, more medtech/life science applications with biosensors and sensor applications. But they are at the earlier development stage for us, and they can only contribute to our growth after some time. So difficult to say if any of them will be bigger or more dynamic than flat panels or semiconductors. But we want to utilize, as XTPL, we want to utilize the platform nature of our technology, meaning that the technology is not solving just one problem of one industry, but actually can bring value to multiple verticals. And as the company will grow, we will attack additional verticals with more power, with more focus, and unlock some of the revenue generation from these markets as well.
Thank you. The next question. Can you provide a timeline regarding the launch of the 8-nozzle head? What are the main hurdles in development and go live of the 8-nozzle print head?
Yes, the multi-nozzle system is a system that for us was showing a certain capability. Now, we're not aiming at launching a product to the market and then seeing what happens. Our goal is to develop a solution to a certain level and then engage with testing, validations, and the selection of potential use cases with different customers. So now we're in the phase that we have proven a fundamental capability of this multi-nozzle solution, and it's not so much about now doing more development internally. Now it's more about the right business development activities and engaging with the right partners for this engagement, because only then we can do the final tuning, the final finalization of the parameters of such a product for a given use case. There won't be any universal solution of multi-nozzles that can solve multiple problems in multiple markets. There is always a certain configuration of multi-nozzle for certain applications, and there are certain applications where our multi-nozzle approach will simply not be the right solution, and we should not engage into those. So at this stage, I would say it's more about our market discussions with the customers, selecting the right use case. And honestly, most of the focus we have right now is on the DPS system sales, on the UPD module sales, and on the Delta Plus market introduction. So these will be the high priority projects for us. The multi-nozzle system is probably stage 2 that can unlock our future growth after reaching the critical strategy goals planned for the year 28.
Thank you very much. And I think this is the last question. If you have more, please add it through the chat. And the question is, do you see a chance for a break-even in the coming 2026?
Probably we have to speak about two different break-evens. One would be the net result break-even, one would be the cash flow break-even.
Yeah.
And honestly, on the net result, it's probably not yet what we're planning for. So we rather expect next year to be net negative. But cash flow wise, we may be getting close to cash flow break even. We're not promising that. That's not our strategy goal. But if our sales growth is performing well, maybe we'll getting close. But again, that's not our strategy goal, and that's not our plan. The key plan is to focus on the achieving of 100 million Polish zloty revenue. That requires still some investments, and they will have a priority over optimizing of next year cash flow.
Okay. Oh, yes, another question. Cash flow breaking even on operating cash flow or free cash flow next year? Free cash flow to firm or the operating cash flow?
Let's say about the operating cash flow, because the free cash flow, we are planning the financing to the financing like debt, like a grant. So we are talking about the operating break even in the operating cash flow.
Okay.
Without
Thank you very much.
The financing.
I think that is answering the question. So I think as there is no other questions in the chat box, we can conclude our meeting, our Q&A session and the presentation. Thank you all for your participation and questions. I encourage you, of course, to visit the Investor Relations website to look through some other very handy materials and to stay in touch with us through the mail and through the phone. And for the last word, I pass the microphone to the Mr. Philip, CEO.
Thank you so much. Thank you for joining in for the Q3 results presentation, and goodbye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.